Hey crew, and welcome to another episode of Checking In with Your Coach. Last episode we talked about trying out new recipes, and I said I would do a condiments episode, and that's what this episode is all about. It's the condiments that I use and what you can expect or what you can use them on, and so you can get a different experience. So I'm going to kind of rattle them off. I have 7 of them in front of me, and by no means are these all of the condiments. I also, and I don't have them in front of me, I use a ton of spices. I use a lot of low sugar, and that's the number one thing. No sugar added spices. So I'll get, I use a Chicago steak seasoning in my hamburger and on my steak, and we've got a chicken one, and we've got a spicy one. We've got one for broccoli. We've got all sorts of different spices. We use salt on things, especially if, let's say, the meal we're having is literally rice, broccoli, and chicken. There is no salt in that, especially after a workout and I'm feeling a little depleted. You know what? I've been sweating. I'll put a little salt on it, okay? Sometimes in the summer I go a little nuts on salt. But let's kind of rattle these off. So one thing I don't have is low sugar ketchup. We just ran out. I wish I could show you. We use Heinz, Heinz 57. They have a low sugar ketchup. Trust me, you put enough of it on there, it tastes the same, okay? And you know what? If it doesn't taste the same, give it a week, it will taste the same. It's like switching toothpastes, okay? That's with all of these condiments. It's like switching toothpaste. Every once in a while, you try a new flavor and you're like, but by a week later, you forget. And then if you go back to the old toothpaste, you're like, oh, this is disgusting. Same with these condiments, okay? So again, I wish I had that ketchup in front of me to show you that. But a brand that I really like, and shout out to Tim. He knows who he is. I'm not going to say his last name. But anyway, he was the one who actually introduced me to this. Can you see that in the camera? That way. It's G. Hughes. Yeah, G. Hughes. You can see right on the front it says sugar-free barbecue sauce. Now they have a honey one. They have an original. They have a hickory. And again, I'm just going to look at this. There's no gluten in it, which is cool. But total carbohydrates in 2 tablespoons, which, is a decent amount. There's only 2 grams, okay? There's no sugar added. They use a lot of, dehydrated fruits and things like that. Yeah, dehydrated onions and hickory smoke. Yeah. You get the point. It's a great way to make your pizza, make your barbecue pulled pork, whatever, and not have 30 grams of sugar per serving. I mean, look at just a traditional bottle. Trying to think of a brand like a Heinz. I don't care. Look at the back. Oh my gosh. You'd swear you were drinking a soda, a pop, right? There's so much sugar in it. Now with that same company, this is a little bit off tangent. This is a honey mustard. Okay. Same brand, same company. I've been looking for this specific honey mustard that when I was younger, I'm like, oh my God, I sound like I'm 1,000 years old. But this honey mustard that I used to love, and there's this certain flavor to it. I just couldn't find it. I've had mustards with honey. I've had honey mustards that are like a Dijon that are a little spicy. I couldn't get the flavor, and this is the closest flavor to the honey mustard I used to love as a kid, and it's no sugar, and you can use quite a bit. Anytime I do like maybe a sourdough bread or like a whole wheat flour bread, or whatever flat out I'm using, whatever it is, I like to put like turkey, ham, cheese, whatever, and then I'll put that honey mustard on. That gives me a great seasoning to it, a nice flavor to it. My wife uses Hellmann's light mayo. Cool thing about it, there's less than 1 gram of sugar. It's really low in fat. They don't really use a lot of crappy oils in it. I still haven't decided if I like soybean oil or not, but anyway, it's at least something, especially if your goal is weight loss. Sometimes you have to have some alien technology, as Tim would say, in order to get through it. Anyway, going back to G. Hughes, they also have a lot of stir-fry sauces. So one that I'll use is a teriyaki if I'm just trying to kind of get a little bit of a zip to it. Other times, if I want a nice stir-fry sauce, I'll use the Kikkoman stir fry, just the original. The reason is there's only 3 grams of sugar in per serving. Yeah, 1 tablespoon. So this is the lowest sugar, decent tasting. It reminds me of, again, when I was a kid and I was eating vegetables, we would have a stir fry packet. It was called Oriental packet. I don't know why, but anyway. It was the Oriental flavor, and that's the best flavor that I found, and it simulates and replicates the Panda Express's broccoli beef really closely, and that makes me feel a lot better. But But again, those are the stir fry sauces we use. You can't really get away with any of the other ones because they have a lot of sugar. Oh, with the G Hughes, I don't have it in front of me. They have an orange chicken. They have different marmalades. They have so many different items. They came with just barbecue sauce, and lately they've been just crushing it. It's like Kodiak cakes. They started with just pancakes, and now they've got muffins and brownies and baking mix and all sorts of stuff. So one company that is quite hit or miss, so I'm not a fan of their ranch. Their mayo's a little weird. They do a lot of salad dressings. That's kind of where they got their start, I believe. But they also do pancake syrup. So this is the maple one. This isn't my favorite pancake syrup. We just haven't had pancakes in a while. It's called Walden Farms. It's a little bit more expensive. It's 0 calorie. All right. So 0 calorie. Tastes great. What the hell's in it? A lot of artificial stuff. Okay. Let's be honest. If you're trying to lose weight, you might have to get some artificial stuff in your life so that you can lose the 30, 40 pounds, or 165 if you're Tim, 265 rather. You might have to do some alien technology stuff for a while in order to help you lose that weight. And then once that weight's gone, fine. Reintroduce things that aren't so artificial. But let's be honest, a lot of condiments are, okay? You'd be shocked at what a ketchup company will put into their ketchup to make it taste better and look better. Make it look more red. They put red dye in it. It's weird. Anyway, my wife and I, Courtney, we love putting hot sauces on things. So this is the Chipotle Tabasco sauce. We do this thing called, pork nachos is what we call it. So we take pork chops, We take pork chops, we cook them in the oven, we cut them up, we throw them in a bowl with rice, sometimes lentils. We put a little cheese in it. We put Tabasco sauce and barbecue sauce. And then sometimes we'll eat it with like a whole wheat chip or something like that. Other times we just eat it with a fork. But it's like a barbecue, like a really nice barbecue meal, and it's really easy. And I'm a fan of just, eating out of a bowl sometimes, if you can see that. I haven't finished my lunch yet, but hang on, let's get that in the shot. Look at that. There's just rice, chicken, beef, broccoli, all sorts of crap. But again, seasonings make bland foods taste better. So if you make a recipe, if you haven't listened to the last episode, go listen to it. It makes recipes so much better. And sometimes you can make something that's disgusting, put a little, Tabasco sauce on it or something, and this actually works. So again, try out some new condiments. Hopefully those help you. There are way more condiments out there than you would ever imagine that are actually decent for you, that are lower in sugar, that aren't a ton of artificial crap. So again, try out some new condiments, and I'll see you next time.